right, y'all. Diana Russini's report, to me, it does not make that much sense. Not a whole lot of sense at all. And we're going to discuss all that in just a second. I mean, the first thing to really kind of get on the same page with me, so you really know what I'm getting at here. As more people kind of trickle in, I'll get this link tweeted out as well here in just a second. But quarterbacks, players in general, right? They are always looking to get back to the table as soon as possible to take advantage of the ever increasing salary cap produced by the ever increasing value of the product that is the NFL, right? The corresponding money that goes along with that. What's up, Daniel? How we doing, brother? It's one of those things where players understand that with each passing year, like for instance, Lamar Jackson just last year, was the highest paid quarterback in the league at $52 million. One calendar year later, he's number 5, or 12 actually, I think, right about now. There's maybe he is number 7. He's somewhere in the middle. Anyway, I'll get that pulled up here too. The point is, the money is ever increasing, and it's increasing at a rather exponential rate, right? So being the highest paid quarterback tomorrow or at the end of this week, or whatever day it is that Dak Prescott inevitably does get extended, most likely, and in my opinion, prior to the season getting underway, is that money is going to be more 2-3 years down the road. Quarterbacks are going to be making 70, 75 routinely, right? It's just this upward trajectory. And so that's the whole thing. It's like I did have a feeling early on, and I've talked about this all the time, is that the potential years would be, or the years potentially on this contract extension between Dak and the Cowboys could be a potential holdup. But I didn't think that it would be for the Cowboys wanting fewer years and not Dak Prescott. It's a little bit backwards logic to me. And here's the reason why it doesn't really make sense, okay? Let's just say Diana's report, which we're going to read, so it makes a little bit more sense. I'll actually go ahead and get that pulled up right now. Let's just go into it. Let me kick this intro up, and I'll have the audio set up for y'all. Here we go. So here's Russini's report, and let's just take it from the top, from the Cowboys Wire right here. Appreciate their work. On her podcast at the 8:07 mark, I think it was, on the Scoop with Chase Daniel, Scoop City podcast. The holdup at this point, from what I understand, this is Diana speaking, is about the years now. The Dallas Cowboys are willing to commit to. Is about the years the Dallas Cowboys are willing to commit to. It's assumed that Dak is going to get paid at the top of the market. The Cowboys are aware of that. Do they want to put themselves in a position contractually that keeps Dak Prescott in Dallas longer than 2, 3, 4 years? Okay, so that's my first stopping point that I want to get to. Is that's what people are taking a little bit out of context here for me, okay? Whether the Cowboys view 2 years as being long-term or 4 years as long-term isn't really relevant, okay? She includes the potential of 3 and 4 being on the table, right? So we can't just necessarily assume that that's just some discrediting or disrespectful thing that the Cowboys are saying here. Whoever's leaking this report, right, whatever their goal or objective may be, it doesn't really add up. And the reason why, so it would indicate, like, if, let's just say in a hypothetical world, like, this is 100% true, this is the actual holdup right now. It's not the money, it's not the length of the time, like it's the years, okay? Let's say that's true for right now. Why if they it would signify, it would indicate that the Cowboys are hesitant to commit to Dak Prescott long term. But if they were hesitant to commit to him long term, they would have traded him prior to the NFL draft this year, when draft picks are at their peak and where teams aren't necessarily sure or confident or optimistic about the current 53 as it pertains to the incumbent regular season, the regular scheduled 17 game slate. Every team thinks that they're going to give it a shot. They're going to see what they got. They're going to go for it. So now is not the time to trade Dak. But guess what? They can't let him walk either. And I'm going to show you why. Because of this number right here. Y'all see that? Let me zoom in for you. Y'all see that number right there in orange on the far right of the screen where my cursor's hovered over? Right here. Y'all see that? If you're driving or otherwise not viewing the screen, you're just listening, which is completely fine, by the way. Come one, come all. You're seeing a dollar sign here, followed by a 4 and a 0 and a comma and a 1 and a 3 and a 7. 40 million in dead cap if Dak Prescott were to hit the open market, enter free agency in March of 2025. The start of the new league year, the Cowboys are paying $40 million for their MVP runner-up quarterback to not be in Dallas. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, y'all. Right? Why didn't they draft a quarterback this year? Because they traded for Trey Lance? Okay. Why isn't Trey Lance extended past 2024? Why isn't Cooper Rush extended past 2024? The extension's getting done. And whether it's, you want to, it's whether it's up to you to decide if you agree that his play on the field deserves or merits that. Okay, I can't change your mind on that. Nothing I can do. All I can do is do my own due diligence, my own research, and then speak my own objective opinion. You'll listen to me, and you can do whatever you want with the information or the thoughts that you take away from my perspective. But what I can tell you is that the business part of this, the money, the value of the position, this franchise knows that not having that position solidified and secured is infinitely more terrifying to them than whatever price tag goes along with the player. Right? Call it $60 million if you want. Okay? That $60 million price tag pales in comparison to the fear, the trepidation, the queasiness in Jerry Jones' stomach that he would otherwise feel if he was in a perpetual state of quarterback purgatory all over again as he's entering the age of 82 years old. Speaking of which, if you're wondering where I've been the last few days, I just turned 30 myself. So I had kind of a weekend long, just unwinding, if you want to call it that, with family and quality time, man. Just really enjoying myself and just looking around, being thankful for everything that God's done for me. But that being said, if you want to wish me a belated happy birthday, the QR code in the top right of your screen there, that can help buy me a new camera so that you guys can catch me in all my all the things that I'm right about and or wrong about in 4K. So here's the thing. This is perfect segue from Z Money XV. Thank you for this. Okay, Shedeur Sanders, you are a Cowboy. Good luck to you. Everybody thinks, oh, well, the Cowboys will just go draft Shedeur Sanders. Okay, well, even if we could guarantee that he was a prospect, or a better prospect than Dak, I should say. If that's the case, good luck acquiring the first, second, or third overall pick. Even if you're in the 4 hole and Shedeur Sanders is guaranteed, you're confident that he's better than Dak. Good luck getting to 3, 2, or 1 to take him. If he's better than Dak, he's going 1 overall. If teams feel that way, right? I understand it's a trait-based selection in most cases, right? You're betting on traits, you're betting on development in the future. I get it. Don't misconstrue my words here. But I'm just applying the logic or the lack thereof to this narrative that I just keep seeing over and over and over again about Shedeur Sanders. Okay, Dak Prescott's on your team. You're not going to be in a position to acquire the services of Shedeur Sanders, regardless of what you think of him, regardless of how good he is. It's not that easy. Okay, you can't just snap your fingers and make it happen. Okay, if he's this can't-miss prospect that everybody in Cowboys Nation that is opposing Dak Prescott getting a contract extension swears that he is, good luck being the worst team in the NFL or acquiring the pick from the worst team in the NFL heading into next year's draft. Good luck to you. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, y'all tell me, man. Am I crazy? I know I'm not, but am I alone here? Just feeling like this is just weird timing to say that, or for somebody to leak this information to Diana. Maybe, shoot, who knows, man? Maybe Scoop City was just hurting for views and they needed some engagement, and they did what most people or corporations do who are hurting for views and engagement. And they talk about the guy that plays quarterback for the most valuable franchise in the world. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. It's not my place. But what is my place is to say is that this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me if these reports are accurate. I don't know. Why would Dak not want to get back to the table sooner? And why would the Cowboys not want the cap flexibility to sign him to a long-term extension? So if you get him now at the going rate, APY, right, with the guarantees that sort of correspond to that, and you have 8, 9, 10 years to move money around and perform your salary cap gymnastics, that's a much easier task than being handicapped like this with $40 million staring at you dead in the face on the books next year. If you were to walk, right? They've walked themselves and they've painted themselves into their own corner now. Okay, that's their own doing. Right? They've kicked this can down the road long enough, 3 times now, really, to the point to where they've spent a lot more money paying Dak with the standoff, because they just kept waiting for him to prove himself, and he does it over and over and over again. So now, no matter what, he's going to be the highest paid football player in National Football League history. Okay, perfect. Another great point here from Z Money XV. To be fair to me, I've already actually done the work on this topic. So with this logic here, then we all have to realize that of the 12 highest paid quarterbacks in the National Football League right now, Dak Prescott is not one of them, by the way. Only 3 of them have more playoff wins than Dak Prescott does. Joe Burrow. Well, let's start from the bottom. Jared Goff with 4, Joe Burrow with 5, Patrick Mahomes with 15. That's it. So the playoff wins, by the way, and also if that's how we're judging this, okay? Playoff wins. You fail to acknowledge this is still the most. It's the ultimate team sport we're talking about here, okay? So he says, I love Dak, by the way, just seeing what other Cowboys fans are talking about. Well, that's why I'm here, man, because like I see stuff like what you're asking, what you're saying everywhere, and it's off base. It's not in tune with reality. It's just regurgitated clickbait and fake take headlines and narratives. That's all it is. Okay. And I'm not mad at you for thinking that way because you're honest. To be completely honest with you, you're conditioned to think that way. And that's part of why I'm here and what was the initial inspiration for voicing my opinions 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was I started doing this. So Diana Russini's report, to me, the whole purpose of this is just to, I guess, re-emphasize how confusing it is. Just the time. I mean, what do the Cowboys gain by if they're leaking this? That they're not committed to Dak long term? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can't tag him. You can't trade him unless he approves of where he's going. And you can't let him walk because you're just going to eat $40 million on the open market next year. For what? In exchange for a 3rd round comp pick? It would be the most laughable, inexplicable front office mishap in modern sports history for that to happen. Not trading him. Trading him is a different story. I'm talking about specifically walking away. Like letting things get so bad to the point to where he walks, you get nothing in exchange for his services. One of the best players at the most important position in all of sports. You get nothing with the exception of a 3rd round comp pick. Where if you really, which once again, to go along with what this report from Diana Russini here would suggest, if you really believe that what she's reporting is true, and the Cowboys truly believe that they weren't sure about committing to Dak beyond 4 years. If they really weren't sure, they would have traded him before the draft last year. And you just start the rebuilding process. But the Cowboys know how good this team is. And by the Cowboys, I mean the Joneses. They're not stupid. Okay? They're smart. They know how much money them leaving this contract still open-ended as of today, which is what? Tuesday, September 3rd. Almost by the time this gets posted officially, if you rewatch it, playback, it'll be September 4th. But they know what letting this thing snowball all the way up until maybe the night before their first game. Because guess what? The Chiefs and the Ravens get all the headlines on Thursday. Not going to do it then. right? Just keep it building. Let it flow. Let it happen. The Cowboys will still be a sub headline, regardless of what happens on Thursday. Same thing on Friday night. The Eagles play the Packers overseas. You think Jerry Jones wants to still be talked about after that game concludes and the post show or the post game show is going on, and they ain't talking about the recap of the Packers and Eagles game, right? They're speculating over when Dak Prescott's going to sign, if he's going to sign, and how much. You don't think Jerry would love that? Ratio, I've said this in a different. I haven't spoken it verbatim like that, but I've been talking about this for a very long time now. It's the one position, one of the very few where you just get better with age, because it's all like so much of the position is how quickly and how accurately can you process what's happening. Can you process a ton of information that's happening in an instant. Not only are you responsible for your other 10 on your side of the ball, but you got to process what's happening. It's ridiculous. How much skill, how much just sports savvy, IQ, processability, commitment, just everything it takes, like, to even be able to understand completely what's going on, where to go with the football before you even actually think about getting the football there, right? That's the easy part. Processing and diagnosing is the hard part. And that's what makes quarterbacks like Dak so valuable, because they're one of the ones that have proven that each and every year they see more football, and they eventually, like you're talking about, get to a point to where nothing can surprise them anymore because they've seen everything, and it just becomes second nature. Right? It's Dak Prescott has full autonomy of the entire offense at the line of scrimmage. It's his game. In those 60 minutes. So, anyway, what's up, Rock Drums? How we doing, brother? I hope all that makes sense, man. And I don't want to ramble too much. It's really it's difficult for me to like have a punchline that y'all can take and send to all your friends so you can sound like the smartest guy in the room, because it just doesn't really make sense. Like, there's too many variables. I mean, there's really not. Like I said, it's simple. Football doesn't have to be complicated. Okay? Cowboys Nation wants it to be. There's all these different, like, quote unquote, it's just like criteria for what Dak is worth or what he should be paid. Just look around the league, man. Look around. Take a freaking look around, and the answers to the test are everywhere if you just look. Look past Sports Center for once. And the answers to the tests are right in front of you. Just connect some dots, like I said. Connect some dots. And it'll lead, generally speaking, if you can just keep a level head and look past the actual headlines, right? Dig a little bit deeper, sports below the surface, right here. You can kind of see what's happening. You get a better feel for it. Anyway, what else? What else we got? Real quick before we get out of here. 22 of y'all in here. Please hit that like button for me. And those of you that are listening on the playback, please do the same thing. It helps me. That's the best way to help me. Just hit that thumbs up for me, so that you can also subscribe to if you want to. That's free. Free subscribe gets you this free information. And just the free banter, the friendly conversations, things like this that keep happening. Micah back to linebacker, yes, sir. Not full-time. He's just going to be deployed a little bit differently than DQ chose to, where he was essentially entrenched on one side of the line of scrimmage. How do you think Guyton will do against Miles on Sunday? Honestly, man, I'm super confident in the kid. I really am. I mean, I've spoken about this quite a bit too. I know he's wired the right way. And if You want to know why I know? I bet if you just Google it or like look it up, it'll pop up somewhere. I know I've posted different projects. I apologize. I don't have the bandwidth right now to like recall exactly when and where I posted it, but he says the right things, man. You can tell he doesn't flinch when he says them. He's wired the right way, and we know the traits are already tip top traits guy. So if you have it between the ears, the will and the want to work on top of what the good Lord already blessed you with physically, sky's the limit. There will be growing pains, as there always are. I'm not saying Myles Garrett's not going to win. He's going to win probably. But would I be shocked if he was held without a sack? No, I wouldn't. Because another thing too, on top of that, is a lot of people fail to recognize, like, Deshaun Watson is, on a per snap basis, is one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league right now. The dude just holds on to the ball. He doesn't navigate the pocket well. He doesn't have that internal clock to the level of guys like Dak, right? Navigating the pocket navigation, sacks are a QB stat in a lot of cases. And Dak is regularly one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league. Why? It goes back to our conversation from a little bit ago. Because he has seen everything. He knows where pressure's coming from. He's very difficult to fool pre-snap. He slides the protection. As a result, once he diagnoses once he IDs where pressure may be coming from, right? And those pre-snap tells, the things that are important in terms of giving him that information, right? Mike McCarthy, getting some of those easy buttons inundated into the offense. Right, Skywalker still talks about the easy buttons all the time. It's so true. One of the best things that you could ever do for a quarterback is have a guy in motion before the ball snapped. You understand what coverage that the opposing defense is in, at least if it's man or zone, at the bare minimum. You force communication because they've got to shift. All of a sudden, their gap integrity, their gap assignment, it changes, it shifts. So they have to communicate. And then the third thing is, on top of that, is it not only is it giving the quarterback information, right? We talked about that, but it's giving one of your athletes, one of your skill guys, a head start. And he's forcing the defender, if it's man coverage, to run through, bob and weave through traffic and natural separation. So Myles Garrett should be a headline and he should be talked about, and it's a matchup that is absolutely at the top of the list in terms of deal breakers for the Cowboys in this game. And we're going to talk about this more in depth as the week continues. But I really just wanted to address Russini's report and kind of get in here and just kind of see what the pulse was on everybody before I know exactly what the direction that I want to head with some of my short form stuff that's about to come out, and as well as just conversations continuing on this channel, on this platform, moving forward, where we want to go. I gotta know how y'all are feeling, because I really can't gauge it. I get the best feedback whenever I'm in these types of situations, because I get a real feel for I get a feel for tone of the fan base. So I guess a little bit more, let me expand upon that just a little bit, right? One of the unsung heroes of this Cowboys team, if you're not familiar with the name, then you should be. Actually, let me just pull it up for you so you can see. It's Big Duke, the OL mastermind, offensive line mastermind. Okay. Like that. I don't want to get copyrighted. Duke Manyweather right here. Let me go ahead and get off that tab, actually. He is the Cowboys' de facto second offensive line coach, but once again, one of the unsung heroes of the franchise. Tyler Smith wasn't ready. That was the label. That was the talking point coming out. 2 years into the league, first year playing the left guard position, he's an all-pro. A first-team all-pro at that. Tyler Guyton wasn't ready. Played the right side. How's he going to handle the switch from right tackle to left tackle? He's really big, but he doesn't really know. His hand placement kind of sucks, right? Super athletic, quick on his feet, but what's his power like in the run game? Can he move people? It's a dude didn't really play offensive line most of his life. He was recruited as a tight end, played a little bit of defense, or vice versa. Right? I mean, and then first day we put pads on and we got Micah Parsons and Alcatraz. You think Myles Garrett's that much different than Micah Parsons? Not really. Not in terms of pass rush ability. Micah actually led every category last year. Pressures, tackles for loss. I don't think he had him in sacks. But the pressures per snap, the amount of the times that he was double teamed relative to the rest of the league, Micah Parsons in his own quadrant by himself. Go look that up. And I agree. Micah is faster, Myles is more powerful. That's probably true. And the reason why Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year last year is because he's better in the run game as well. We've talked about that. That's why you do have Micah play more linebacker, like the question earlier. Okay? And you put him in the middle of the formation and you move him around so that offensive coordinators can't plan for and scheme him out of the game. You let the best athlete on the field roam and hunt and pursue from the middle. And guess what? His best pressure percentages, I think 7 of his sacks even just last year came from between A and B gap. In other words, in between the tackles and not off the edge. Right? So, you know what? And I'm going to end with this. Because I'm really proud of this work here. And I think anytime I talk about this subject, anytime it comes up, I think it just makes everybody, brings us all together on the same page again. And I think it's just easier than me having to try to figure out how to reiterate it or to reword it and rephrase it and say it all over again to where it really resonates in the manner that I intended for it to. So let me pull this up just one second. Y'all get a little background tune while we wait. Appreciate y'all being in here tonight. It's late. I'm headed to Jackson Hole, Wyoming tomorrow for a wedding. But I'm looking forward to that. I'll have all my stuff with me, and you will be seeing more of me this week. Here we go. Misusing Micah. Here we go. This really should, I hope this, it's really not that difficult, y'all. Same way, like I said, football doesn't have to be complicated. Okay? It really doesn't. And so my objective, my hope is that I have made it much more simple for you to digest and process tonight. Today, whenever you listen to this. Right? Dak is good enough. It's the ultimate team sport, okay? 3.2 yards per carry each of the last 3 playoff losses, not his fault. Can't run the football, he can't stop the run. It ain't the quarterback's problem. Okay? We expect that to change this year. The Cowboys know how close they are. They know that they need that position locked down to continue chasing this thing. They know that they have a young bevy of talent. And it's not an all-in or nothing season. It's really not. For a select few, maybe coaches, that could potentially be the case. Okay, but they know what they have. They are not stupid. And they also know that these sitting on this just makes them more money because everybody keeps talking about it. They want the headlines, and they're getting them. Until this, why do it now? Why not wait 6 more days and let everything come to a head before it's about to reach a boiling point and nobody can recover from it? All is well again. Look at that. The relationship is mended. Everybody's happy. We can all just sit in a circle around a campfire and sing Kumbaya. And all of a sudden, the hype train is back. Everybody's actually for half the fan base. Some of y'all are probably pissed off, but I digress. Misusing Micah. Okay, this is why he's playing a little bit more as a linebacker, as a chess piece, as opposed to an entrenched edge player. Okay, he doesn't have to. You can rush the quarterback. You can be a pass rusher from the middle of the field. And this will explain it for you. Here we go.
A lot of strong opinions lately on Micah Parsons and whether or not he's being misused and playing out of position. Just watch these 2 plays real quick.
I hope that's playing for y'all. If not, I'm sorry. Just hang in there with me. Here we go. Share screen. Micah Parsons. Bingo.
A lot of strong opinions lately on Micah Parsons and whether or not he's being misused and playing out of position. Just watch these 2 plays real quick. Now, I don't care what side of the argument that you stand on. You cannot convince me that when you see that, you don't at the very least want to see a little bit more of it. Like, that's alien is not normal. So look, based on most of the exchanges that I've seen, the side that's pro Micah is strictly an edge, isn't exactly keen on considering that both worlds can coexist. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. And then on the other side of that coin, the side who wants to see him more off ball, and I'll speak for myself here because I am in that camp, we acknowledge how decimated that we are at the position. And just at the very least, we want to see it a little bit more, right? Because you got to earn the right to rush the quarterback first. You got to prove that you can stop the run. Okay? Just ask Buffalo about that. You tell me how effective that Micah was that day, strictly at edge. If teams can just ball control their way around our pass rush and our offense, what good is that really doing? He can still rush the quarterback from the middle of the field as well. He can have the best of both worlds. And he's actually this season been most effective doing so from the middle.
7
just
sacks
watch this play right here.
Micah,
as a run defender on the edge, is just simply not that effective. He struggles to set and contain the edge, especially when you watch a guy like D-Law do it. Teams would much prefer to run away from 90's side and directly at 11. But even if they didn't, they could still find ways to scheme around him if he's on the line of scrimmage to one side the way that he normally is. Pretty plain and simple. Right? He's an elite pursuer of the ball carrier from the second level. He's an elite pass rusher. Okay? But he's not elite at all as a run defender from the edge. So if you stick him at edge, you're eliminating one of Micah's superpowers. Whereas if you put him in the middle, he's inevitable. Last thing is the money in regards to his upcoming contract extension is obviously a factor here too, but I'm not really sure if I'm putting a ton of stock into that component. I can't see them putting politics before winning, but maybe I'm naive. I don't know. If you like this video though, you'll probably like the next one about the Micah conspiracy even more.
Anyway, and do the Cowboys put politics before winning frequently? Yes, they do. The point was, and watching that back, I just realized that could have been misinterpreted as if the Cowboys aren't into drama, because they absolutely are. What I meant with that was that they wouldn't let politics get in the way of getting Micah, keeping him around, basically, with a contract extension that he's going to be asking for about this time next year. Sooner than that, but dragging into potentially this time next year. Anyways, y'all get it. This was a little bit longer than I expected, but hey, we go with the flow, we roll with the punches, and we don't apologize for it. We just we speak objectively, and we try to bring light to some of these situations that, you know, connect some dots here and there. You can figure out what's about to happen. Dak's contract could be the next time you guys see me. He probably have that extension done. Okay, I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but if I was a betting man, before Sunday, before we jog out there on the field against the Browns. Anyway, that's it, man. Let me see it here. Let's do this outro the right way, and I'm gonna get on with my life. I gotta pack up. I got a flight to catch tomorrow, headed to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I'm really looking forward to it, but the work never stops. It's around the clock. You caught me just in time, Martin Talk Cowboys. What did he say? Did you hear? He does. Brandon, that's what I was trying to illustrate a second ago. He absolutely does. It's almost like Jerry Jones uses these contract negotiations for publicity. You betcha. There's a reason why they're the most valuable franchise in the world. He's really good at that stuff. Did you hear what Brian B said on Vach's show about Dak? I did not. What you got for me? Talk to me, brother. Turn the music down just a little bit more. This audio mixer, I'm getting the hang of it. Promise I'll be better in the future. I'll keep getting better. Just a little bit of a learning curve, but it's fun. Allegedly, Dak and agents met with the Cowboys today, according to him. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if they're not meeting in person, they're on the phone every day, as they should be. As they absolutely should be. We'll wait for your response on that and see if you got any follow-ups before I get up out of here. They should be meeting every single day, trying to figure this out. But, you know, it's further validation if they're meeting today. And that's the thing. Another thing, too, is I didn't even mention this. If the reports are accurate, if we take them at face value, that it's all about the years and not the amount of money, and this is already a done deal. It's already done. Because years are a lot easier to cede your to give up your stance from. You know what I'm saying? Like, the years are usually the first thing that you get figured out before you start talking about guaranteed monies and APYs and all that stuff. That's the difficult part. It's another reason why this doesn't really make sense. Like, in a contract, when it's as one-sided in terms of leverage as this one actually is, there's no dispute over years in my head. I don't buy it. I don't know. It's weird to me. It's very weird. Yeah, go ahead and send it to me real quick, Martin, and I'll pull it up here, and then I really do have to go because I got to pack. Send it to me. I'll wait for it to come through. I'll pull it up, brother. Thank you. Yep, I was all over the CD one too. I've been trying to tell y'all. Been waiting. Every Cowboys fan in the world, if they just found this channel, there'd be a lot less misinformation. Messages. Martin, where you at, big dog? Let me see. Man, I got messages. Oh, gosh, I have so many. I have so many notifications. I'm still not caught up on just from the birthday weekend. All the festivities that went along with it. Just family coming in town. My nephew and niece were in town with us for the whole weekend, and then I had my wife surprised me. It's like 45 of my best friends and family just showed up at my house right before Texas played on Saturday. So I'm trying to process the Texas game and go back and watch it because all those people around. I'm not focused. I'm not 100% focused on the actual game. So I've just been playing catch up. But it was one of the best weekends of my life, so it was definitely worth it. Are you going to live stream during the games this year? Planning on it, yeah. So that's kind of what I'm not experimenting with right now. Martin says, good deal. I think as of right now, I'm probably going to go live every Tuesday and Thursday night minimum. And then on the weekends when I'm free, right, because I got two daughters with me. Not with me, but like I have two daughters. And so I don't know that I can't necessarily just commit to every Sunday live stream for the whole game. So it'll kind of just be like a wait and see situation. Maybe if we have some help. Because my wife wants to watch the game too, and so it's not fair for me to just say, hey, you got the girls because I gotta go stream. Like I want to watch the games with them and just have family time. So we'll see, but I would imagine so because I like doing that. It's fun. At the very least, maybe just do like a post game, like I did after the first couple preseason games. Could do that too, to where we just react in real time and talk about it, how it went. We can definitely do that. We'll see. I'll let you all know once I decide. All right. He said he sent it. Let's go check it out. Oh, that's why. I don't know why it doesn't come through. See, my notifications are weird, man. I promise y'all. I'm trying to get to everything and respond to everything. It's just hard to stay on top of everything. Here we go. Okay, here's the clip. Let me cut this music off.
Their best to throw people off where they're going. They're doing a damn good job of it. They're doing a great job with the Dak contract. People. I was hearing that that Dak and his agents and stuff were meeting today, being Tuesday. I heard that. Now, do I believe it? Pretty damn good, solid source told me that. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll follow up. I can't get anybody to follow up with it on it. So there's, usually when you don't get an answer back, it's no, we don't want to comment on that because it is actually happening. But I couldn't tell you. It goes if it's been a summer of we don't like Dak, we like Dak. We don't want a long-term deal, we want a long-term deal.
Let me close with this because thank you, Martin, for sending me that. I think I kind of just made it make sense in my head right now of why this would be happening at this time. The verbiage, the timing, all that, like to suggest that they are not committed beyond 3-4 years is to suggest that they don't believe in him, right? Could this just be they're so embarrassed? Like I told y'all, if he were to hit the free agent market, this would be one of the most embarrassing front office flops in modern sports history. Could it be that they're just trying to cover their own rear end, for lack of a better term, to sort of convey to the public that this really has been just a difficult decision all along? And it's not just Dak holding them by the balls like this that's prolonged this situation. It's almost like they're trying to take things back into their own hands and sort of flex some leverage. It's like, I don't know he got us over the fire right now, sure, but we're really not sure. And we all know that's crap. That's what this is to me. I just made up my mind. Thanks to Martin's video and Broaddus and Botch. Just doing their thing, bringing it to light. They're so embarrassed already. It's their last ditch effort to sort of like, you know, I guess boost themselves up a little bit in the eyes of the media. Like they're not really sure. They may just do this. They want to commit, but you know, only for 4, not for 6. Like, okay. Like what difference is that going to make? You know? It's all fun and games, man. It's hilarious. I already tried to expose Jerry, you know, his antics, right? They are what they are. Don't put stock into it. Don't put stock into it. Anyway, all right, y'all. I'm out. I'll talk to you soon. Plan on Thursday Night Live stream. Tell your friends. Hit that subscribe button for me. And we'll keep running these up. Thank y'all for being here. Don't forget, prayer changes things. Let go and let God. The war is already won. I love you. Peace.